and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Sunday, and you know what that means? It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course that old outlaw to the north, that cagey outlaw, that fellow June birthday month guy. It is that old outlaw Waylon Jennings. It is the weekly purchases, a birthday week weekly purchases. Of course, it was my birthday this week. Shout out to everybody. Thanks to everybody for reaching out and giving me some birthday wishes. Means a lot, of course. I love my birthday. And unfortunately, as you get older, your birthday's just not as special as it once was. It's supposed to be your day. It's supposed to be your day of celebration, parties, all that kind of stuff. But as you get older, you just don't get that stuff anymore. And it's just hard times. Hard times to look past that, but it is what it is. It is what it is, but thanks everybody once again for all the birthday wishes. Let's do it again next year. How about that? We'll see if we can make it that long. I'm sure we will. I went out for barbecue, a nice fancy barbecue place, eating good in the neighborhood, like Young Applebee's. Got some riblets. No, I didn't go to Applebee's. Went to a nice barbecue place in my area, and that was about it. That was a pretty low-key birthday. That's the way it go. But it wasn't low-key the next day. Had to get up early. Had to drive the family to Chicago. We had to hop on. Well, first, drove all the way to Chicago, got to the hotel, then had to go to a parking garage, then had to get on the train, the Blue Line, all the Blue Line special, of course. Got on that for like 40 minutes, then got off that, then got on a bus for like an hour to get to Wrigley Field to go to the Stray Kids concert. Oh, Stray Kids. They were a bunch of homeless kids. They formed together in Korea, and then they said, you guys are going to sing and dance and perform. It was a wild time at Wrigley Field. My daughters were loving it. They were crying. It was just like Beatlemania, I guess. And that was before my time, of course, as well. But it was just wild. All these kids, primarily girls, teen girls. There were some old girls there. There was girls older than me that were crying and dancing and singing. It was a weird deal. And, you know, I took a picture there. And if I would have shown somebody, if I would have just randomly texted you this picture and said, you know, here's where I'm at. I'm at the Creator concert tonight, or I'm at a Slayer concert tonight. You'd probably believe it because the logo was very heavy metal. And then they had like the blow up inflatables, like a young Iron Maiden back in the day. Of course, Iron Maiden always does those cool inflatables on stage. They were doing some of that stuff as well. Gimmick infringement if there ever was one. But Stray Kids, it was like 90 degrees out, like 100 heat index. They had like 40 dancers, and they played for 3 hours. So I was shocked they went 3 hours. It was a long show. It was a long night for me. I got a lot of work done on my phone. I did some stuff. Unfortunately, you know, I was supposed to be on PTO, and this disaster strikes when you try to go on PTO. So I'm working most of the time, but the concert wasn't for me. I was there for protection and for my wallet is what I was there for. The girls and my wife, yes, my wife too, she got to enjoy that stuff more than I did. So good for them. I hope they enjoyed my birthday and spent all my birthday money. No, I didn't have any birthday money, but it was quite the show. And I guess we're doing it all over again a month from now as they're going to another K-pop band called ATEEZ apparently at Wrigley Field. These kids are spoiled. That's for sure. I'm sure if I asked my dad, I want to go to Wrigley Field to see Iron Maiden, he would say, absolutely not. That's too far away. That's the way it goes. But I'm taking my kids there a month later. Now they want to go back in October for another one. I said, do you guys think I'm made of money? What are we doing here? But that's how I spent that week. Back and forth travel on that. Got home, of course, late Friday, immediately came to the basement. I got some notes together. I did the toy news, and I also did a Mattel reveals video. So make sure you check both of those out, especially that toy news. Got a special investigative report. Yes, investigative report. Got a journalist out there. They hit up Power Town. More on that, of course, in the toy news yesterday. So make sure you're checking that video out if you did miss that. But a lot going on this week, a lot more than I anticipated going on. And of course, now we're looking forward to 4th of July. So hopefully those that celebrate the 4th of July, not everybody that watches this video, at least gets that Friday off. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Probably not going to be a good day for me. It's one of the busiest days of the year for me in my workday world, of course. So we'll see how it goes, but hopefully everybody enjoys a long weekend next weekend, full of fireworks. Hopefully you don't blow your fingers off. You never know how that might go. And you never know how the new podcast may go. Of course, the Kyle Peterson Show each and every Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found with videocast on YouTube. Episode number 14 came up on Friday for all Patreon members and YouTube channel members. Check it out Tuesday when it drops for everyone else, or sign up to the Patreon, support the channel, get all kinds of stuff, all kinds of entertainment over there. But this week is a big one. We celebrate 4th of July, a little 4th of July theme throughout. We also talk a little survivor guilt. I talked about this week, there was also a lot of job eliminations. Now, we saw Ryan Ting, good friend of the channel over there at Hasbro, unfortunately being eliminated over there at Marvel Hasbro team. There was a lot of that going on in my day-to-day work life, and I'm no stranger to it for decades now at this point. About every 2 years when you're working for corporate America, restructures are aplenty, and unfortunately, most of the time, you're just a number. You want to think, man, I put so much work into this job, all this kind of stuff. It's hard for me because I am such work-focused, and you kind of got to remember you're just a number, and it's hard to do that, but one day your number is going to get called, and I saw some of that this week. Not for me personally, but we do dive into a little survivor guilt in the podcast. We're going to really bring the mood down in that one. So check out the podcast. Appreciate all the support over there. Angie loves all the support as well. Shout out to her for being a true champion, coming on the podcast each and every week. A lot of fun there. And hey, who knows, if you're in the area, maybe you could be a guest on the Kyle Peterson Show. We'll see. We'll see. We do got a special guest host coming here in a couple of weeks. More on that, of course. But of course, got to thank Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15%. That is the sponsor of weekly purchases this week. And I got some pickups from Jay's this week. You will see in this video. Shout out to them. A lot going on over there. Currently, they're running a buy one, get one half off for all NECA and Super 7 items. So got to get a deal. We say it all the time. Got to get a deal. Get in there. Check out Jay'sToysAndGames.com and thank them for sponsoring weekly purchases and yesterday's toy news. Besides that, I'm looking at housekeeping. Patreon, of course, we're at the end of June. I just did my Patreon exclusive Q&A over there. Talked a lot of work stuff over there that I usually leave for Patreon, not for traditional YouTube. So I talked some of that. Check out that Q&A. Of course, it's the last chance for you to get a part of the giveaway over there. You get all the bonus videos. You get all the early access from both YouTube channel videos, all the podcast stuff, a monthly Q&A, plus giveaways. Got the Evolution 3-pack. And, of course, the Maya Via 3-pack will be going to one viewer. Or one Patreon member, I should say. So check it out. Head over to Patreon. Link in the description below. Support the channel. Appreciate all the support over there. But looking at my notes, that's it for housekeeping. Like I said, a very busy week. Once again, thanks to everybody for the birthday wishes. But now it's time to trot my wife in here. It's time for Question of the Week. All right, time for Question of the Week. And unfortunately, my wife, Angie, is not here. I cannot find her. She disappeared, left the house, left the premises. And I got to, unfortunately, it's like 100 degrees outside, but I got to mow the yard. I got to trim the trees, edge around the fence, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm going to be a hot, sweaty mess. So I said, you know what? I'm going to film this by myself this week. So that's what I'm going to do. Question of the Week, just me, just us right here today. And I do got the question of the week. Before we get to that, though, we got to whoa, stop the clock. Of course, I just got back from a birthday party. Shout out to my niece, June, 1 year old. Oh, 1 year old. So much life ahead of her. We'll see what happens with her in the future. But I got home, and at the mailbox today, a few things were here. I did get the Bulletproof Studios ice cream bar. They were nice enough to send me a Macho Man ice cream bar. Now, semi-related to the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior ice cream bars that we unboxed on the channel a ways back. This one officially licensed by the Macho Man, or from the Macho Man estate, I guess what we'll say. We will unbox this on the channel, so stay tuned to that here in the future. But we're not done. Grapplers and gimmicks coming in extra hot. We got the two latest and greatest. John Pierre Lafitte, the wrestling pirate, shout out to him. And then Quang, a dangerous ninja, of course, from, I believe, Puerto Rico. Yes, one of those Puerto Rico ninjas right there. But I did get both of these through the door. We'll unbox these together on the channel sooner rather than later. Make sure you do subscribe. That's some whoa, stop the clock. Before we get into the weekly purchases, some late-breaking weekly purchases. But now, getting into the question of the week, and it's going to be a fairly quick one here. It is Tom Bowling 8646 this week. Question of the week, Kyle, is there a syndicated comic strip that you enjoyed that you would like to see turned into an action figure line? Calvin and Hobbes, Bloom County, Beetle Bailey. What would it be? Wasn't there like a Rex Morgan MD? Could we get that line? It was like a soap opera in the comic strips. And I haven't got a newspaper in 100 years. I haven't even looked at a newspaper in 100 years. But I wonder, are there still comics in them? I guess it depends on your local newspaper, I guess is what it was. But when I was a little kid, you know, I was like 6 years old, just getting into comics and stuff, I absolutely love the Sunday paper, especially the Sunday paper, because it had all the comics in there. However, I was never blown away by any of them. Spider-Man was in mine. Your mileage may vary what paper had what cartoons and stuff, but Spider-Man, I was all in. And I remember every weekend I would cut it out and I would paste it on a piece of paper, and then the next week I would paste the next one and so forth, making my own comic. I was a crazy kid, apparently, but it was like a free comic book that you would get, kind of, but it was only like one strip with like 4 panels. You'd be like, oh, I gotta wait till next Sunday to read the rest. And that's the life we lived. But I remember Dennis the Menace was a big one too. And I think Calvin and Hobbes, what was that other family? The Family Circle or something? Was that one of them? And I remember they were all god awful. I hated all of them. Every single one of them I hated. Calvin and Hobbes, hated them. Didn't like any of them. I don't even remember Bloom County, and Beetle Bailey sounds familiar, but I couldn't place it if I had to. But I never really liked any of that kind of stuff. The Far Side, I think, was in there. That was okay every once in a while because it was just like one panel, and it was just, one of those things you kind of laughed at real quick. But for whatever reason, all those like family cartoon comic strips just did absolutely nothing for me. I like Spider-Man. Now, I loved Jay North. Shout out to Jay North, recently deceased, unfortunately. Dennis the Menace on the old TV show back in the day. Loved it. Loved me some Dennis the Menace. Loved both versions of Mr. Wilson. I loved all of it there. But I did not like the comic book. I didn't like that little like thing. So that really wasn't for me. For whatever reason, I didn't like any of it. But I remember that like Rex Morgan. I think that's what it was. We're going to pretend that's what it was. But it was like a soap opera in there. And I remember this thing. Who reads this? And I just imagine there was some like old lady who nowadays, if she was an old lady, she'd be like 140 years old. When I was a kid, they were old ladies then. But I'm like, they're probably sitting down with their coffee and like a cookie or something. And they're I got to read my story. It's Rex Morgan or whatever it is. I don't know. Not for me. So yeah, nothing would really jump out at me. I guess Spider-Man would be the only one I ever liked. So I'd like to see that, but we get Spider-Man all the time. So your mileage may vary if you were into those, but it was nice, free, cheap entertainment, I guess, for a lot of people, I'd have to imagine. But I always loved that Sunday paper because I'd get, you get the Toys R Us ad, the Target ad, the Kmart ad, the Venture ad, the Walmart ad, and so forth and so forth. Always loved looking through that. What toys are in here? What are we going to see in here? Is there going to be any deals, anything like that? Got to get a deal even when you're a little kid. So I'd always spend the first maybe hour of my Sundays going through all that kind of stuff once upon a time. A simpler time, that's for sure. And that is the question of the week. If you want to be the question of the week, you know what to do. Put your question in the comments down below and you may be question of the week. But now it's that time. It's time to dive into the weekly purchases. All right, time for round number 1 of weekly purchases, and we're going wrestling heavy in round number 1 here. Let's kick it off with some stuff we already unboxed on the channel this week. Getting ahead of things with all my travels. We got the WWE superstars, Ricky the Dragon, the Steamboat, and of course, Jake the Snake, the Roberts. Oh yeah, got both these unboxed on the channel. Superstars, very frustrating. Very frustrating is these Walmart shippers. I have about 14 Walmarts in my vicinity. None of them have put the shippers out yet. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully this week I find those, as I need a lot of these Superstars figures. Want, I get it. But I do need to pick these up, and I need to get mint on card unpunched versions of both of these. I need to get Diesel. I need to get Zeus. I need to get Muda. I need to get like 3 of each great Mudas. It's out of control. On top of that, the Monday Night Wars figures. I need Jey Uso in black shoes. I need the clear John Cena. It is going to be an expensive day for my wallet if and when I find these shippers. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Come on, that was my birthday wish when I blew my candle out. Now I just gave it away. I blew the candle out. You're not supposed to tell your wish. Now it won't happen. Oh, I just ruined it. That's the way it goes. Also, on my trips, I went to Peru, Illinois. Yes, Peru. There was pan flutes everywhere. I was in Peru, and I did pick up Cactus Jack for $15 on clearance. Wanted another Cactus Jack in my collection. Now I got it. Couldn't find the Ross special. My Rosses, no superstars. Shocker. But we did get Cactus Jack. Did unbox the new Survivor Series wave. Bret Hart, or 123 Kid. How about that? Getting ahead of myself. Cody Rhodes, of course. Now we got Bret Hart. And then, of course, JD McDonough. Of course, unboxed all of these on the channel. The Build-A-Figure Nick Aldis set should be up or up soon. Already up on Patreon, though, of course. Brand new Survivor Series wave. Grab this over at Ringside Collectibles using discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. But the hits keep on coming via Mattel Creations. Terry Funk, regular edition. Of course, already unboxed it on the channel. I needed a minty one, so I'm okay with that. I did order 2 more, and unfortunately, no chase for me. Got another regular one. I will use this one as Terry Funk. I'll take all the regalia off him, have the wrestling version here. So I am good on the blue Terry Funks. Now I need 3 Chase editions, it looks like, and I'm not sweating it. I always find these Target ones. It's not the terrible thing to find, like Walmart stuff, of course, but trying to find those, and you know what? We always do. Also got another Billy gun right here. We'll use the Rick Rude head, I guess, temporarily, unless I can find a really good custom version of Billy gun or Bart gun, there we go, for the head. We'll see what happens there, but I didn't mind paying the Mattel Creations price because it's the same as Target going on right now. Target did the price increase, so not that big a deal, but I got those through the door. Also picked up two, got one in the mail and found one at the store, Stone Cold Steve Austin Ultimate Edition. Check out the review on the channel. Finally got this one up. Once again, my Walmarts are just absolutely atrocious now. I would never say we were the first to get something in the Midwest, but we would always be maybe a couple of days, 3-4 days behind. Now we're looking at 3 weeks behind, and I've tracked this since I was a little kid. I used to know as a little kid, California always got stuff first back in the day, and they do sometimes now, but not always. But California would always get it first, and like clockwork, I knew with Toys R Us, it would be exactly 1 week after California had it on the pegs, my Toys R Us's would get stuff. It was like clockwork with starting lineups and Jakks Classic Superstars back in the day. Nowadays, it's so kamikaze, and a lot of that goes to that wild web of distribution between Walmarts and Targets, and people complain about the Superstars line all the time, myself included, but a lot of people complain and forget to put the business hat on when they do, that, you know, this distribution center, for whatever reason, got a ton of these. This one did not. It's not like Walmart doesn't want to sell you this stuff. It feels that way. But unfortunately, the distribution went to this one. As I've seen many of stores, I just talked about that Cactus Jack. They had them all on clearance. There's Jim Neidhart, Bret Hart, Cactus Jack, Rey Mysterio, Papa Shango. All of those were there on clearance. And a lot of you watching this have never seen a Cactus Jack, Jim Neidhart, or Bret Hart on the shelves. So it is wild. It's going to continue that way. That's just the way it goes, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Just got to live with it. We just got to live with it right there. But that is round number 1 of weekly purchases. Bring on round number 2. All right, round number 2, the final round of weekly purchases. And one thing that came through the mail this week, I got this when I got home from the old Stray Kids concert. I did get the brand new Motorhead CD. You guys know me. I do still collect CDs. I did a video early in the channel history. I walked through my 10,000 plus CD collection, which I later sold. And I talked about that in that video a little bit, but I do still collect some. Night Demon, Clutch, Motorhead. I still collect all their physical media. Just don't have room for it all, and it's a long story. But long story short, that's what we'll call it. I do get all the Motorhead stuff. Got the Manticore tapes, the first time they ever taped Motorhead. I have heard some of this, haven't heard the whole thing yet. Probably an album of the week on the podcast. We'll deep dive it a little bit more. But I think the sound quality is a little rough on here, as to be expected. But man, oh man, I love this one. And like I said, we'll talk about it in the podcast. A lot of people hating on this kind of stuff. I definitely do not hate on this kind of stuff, and I'll tell the reasons why in the podcast. But we're keeping it going on here. Did finally get dial tone thanks to good friend of the channel, Midwest professional wrestling legend, Gage Octane, who is also the announcer of the Kyle Peterson Show podcast and a future co-host, guest host in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Did get dial tone through the door. And then, of course, just moments ago, I cut loose, Footloose, with a little G.I. Joe Footloose. This one will probably be up on Patreon earlier than this video, maybe around the same time. But of course, if you're watching this on traditional YouTube, weekly purchases right now, probably tonight's video will be Footloose, because, oh, you know me and the Joes. Love a little Joes, love a little Footloose from time to time. I also love a little Batman from time to time. I did get this platinum one. Our friends over there at Jay's Toys and Games got this one in. I said, 15% off. I can't pass this one up at 15% off. I got a few gripes on this one. We'll unbox it on the channel, probably on Kyle Peterson 2.0. Make sure you subscribe to my second YouTube channel. It's always weird to me. There's like 50,000 subscribers over here, but only 7 over there. And maybe it's the content. Maybe people don't like McFarlane. I don't believe it, Todd. I refuse to believe people don't like you. I refuse to believe people don't like the Mythic and Cosmic Legions over there and all points in between. But make sure you subscribe to my second YouTube channel. A lot going on over there every day as well. So appreciate the support across the board. Not done with Jay's Toys and Games. They finally got the elusive Starman. Did you see my top 5 video this week on the channel? My top 5 current most wanted at retail. Starman was on that list, and then bada boom, bada bing. What do we know? Starman through the door this week. So very happy to get that red platinum from jaystoysandgames.com. Not done there. Found this. Actually, my wife found this for me on one of her Target runs. And if you saw the Target bill this month, Todd McFarlane, did you see that? I think I showed that to you last week. man, oh man, I asked my wife, I said, is this the mortgage or is this the Target bill this month? Unbelievable. I said, you guys, and I say this all the time, and I think they've tuned me out because I said, you realize how much money I make, right? You know how much this is and all that kind of stuff. They say, oh, it's only money, you'll make more. Oh, okay. And then I get hit by the bus and then what? Well, then they're living it. They're living the life with my life insurance and all that stuff from work. And they're like, we're better off now than we had to be. We're retired. But yeah, anyways, long story short, my wife did find this for me. Purple suit Batman, we unboxed orange Batman on, of course, Kyle Peterson 2.0. We unboxed the regular one and the platinum edition. Now we're down to the red platinum here with the purple suit. Bring on the yellow, bring on the green, bring on the Oakland A's colors. That's what I say. But purple suit Batman unboxing coming soon. And then I did find these at my local Walmart, Hot Girl DC Collector's Edition and Platinum Edition. Now, I wish I could get so lucky with these Mattel shippers from the WWE. I think I came across 3 full shippers of the McFarlane Superman ones. Tons of these guys running around there. But man, oh man, am I not a fan of the new $35 price point. Unbelievable, Todd McFarlane. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm upping your rent to hang out on my couch, that's for sure. But $35, come on. Come on, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. That's what Owen Hart told me once upon a time. And we need that now. So I don't know if it's like the movie tax with this, what's going on, or if collector's editions are going to be $34.97 or whatever going forward. That's just atrocious. That's just atrocious. You should be ashamed of yourself over there on the couch, Todd McFarlane. Also got a special delivery, a birthday delivery from our friends over at DJC Collectibles. DJC is the proud sponsor of the Kyle Peterson Show podcast. They sponsor each and every week over there. If you want to be a sponsor of anything, reach out to me at TheKylePetersonShow@gmail.com. But I did get the red, I'm calling it Zombie Guy Gardner. He's got blood all over his mouth. Got the red Guy Gardner. They also sent me a little Ultraman battle damaged. I don't think I would have picked this up if they didn't send this to me. So I'm very interested to check it out and say, hey, maybe I would have missed the boat on this one. But we did get Ultraman right there. And last but not least, the third time's the charm, Mr. Terrific. It truly is a terrific year here for Mr. Terrific. This is his 3rd DC Collector's Edition figure. He's got Superman movie figures. He's got little figures. We should just do a top 10 Mr. Terrific on the channel this month. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. Probably not. Probably not. But there it is. Looking around, that is the weekly purchases. A very expensive birthday week for me here. Between all my travels and this stuff, I'll never financially recover. That's the way it goes, unfortunately. But we'll see. I'm sure I will. And I'm sure I'll be back next week on weekly purchases as well. Be interested to hear what you picked up this week. You grab anything good, anything set your world on fire, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. Don't forget my other YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there. Check out my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Last call for the Patreon giveaway this month. Check out all the bonus content over there as well. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. And you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into a 4th of July work week.
What, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?